folks, Kayak DIY here. Today we're going to talk about the Riot Mako series. I've been using these kayaks here for the last several months. You might have seen them in a few of my videos. This is the Riot Mako 10 and this is the Riot Mako 12. The Riot Mako 10 comes in at $9.99. That's what makes it so darn attractive, because it's the lowest price pedal kayak out on the market to date. So I want to show you guys what you can expect from the lowest price pedal kayak on the market to date. So stay tuned here, and if you have any comments or questions, comment below this video and I'll try to address those in orderly fashion. So come on, let's go. So it locks into these posts right here, and then these just twist over top. We then have to put our rudder down. So our rudder is currently in the up position. To put it in the down position, we grab onto this little black ball here. Actually, in reverse, it pedals quite well. The turning radius is okay, but it could be a little bit better. I think one of the big problems is that they have too much slack in the rudder control lines. So if you look back here, the rudder control lines have quite a bit of slack in play, and I think that's what causes it to turn a little bit wide. So one of the things that I like about the Mako 10 is also one of the things that I dislike about it. You'll notice behind the seat there isn't much kayak. The seat is pretty far back. That is nice because I can easily reach everything behind my seat. The problem is there's not much flotation behind my seat, so my 200 pounds of weight is sitting very close to the stern of the kayak, and that makes the kayak slightly unbalanced in terms of weight distribution. The seat is only able to adjust roughly 6 inches forward and back, and I can't really put it much further forward because then I'll be kind of uncomfortable in terms of pedaling. So I need to have the seat further back. So if you're weighing more than 200 pounds and you're taller than me, this might be a hindrance to you. I find that I can still pedal this kayak comfortably and be happy, and at $1,000 it's way under the price of other kayaks out on the market. But to others it might be something that's upsetting to them. So if you are shorter than me and you weigh the same weight or less, chances are you'll be perfectly happy. If you weigh more than me and you're taller than me, it might be something that upsets you with your purchase. So just something to keep in mind. Here I was just trying to see the stability while standing, and you'll notice that I was actually standing on one side of the kayak. I actually fell off the kayak before the kayak flipped, which is unusual. That means the kayak has pretty darn good stability when you're able to stand in the center of the kayak and have good weight distribution. So like right now, I'm standing ahead of the seat, which means my weight is relatively centered, and then the kayak actually is pretty darn stable. We can take a look at that again. You'll notice that I'm standing on the side gunnel, all on one side, and it took quite a bit to flip that kayak. For a 10-footer, this thing performs pretty well. 200 pounds on the front of the kayak. I'm no acrobat. I'm a 200-pound redneck from Iowa. So it's a pretty dang stable kayak for a 10-footer. So pedaling the Mako 12 is very easy, and as you can see, it picks up some decent amount of speed with very minimal pedaling effort. I'm not moving my feet a whole lot. I'm not exerting a lot of force in order to go at a pretty good rate of speed. So there, I'm way outside the gunnel, way outside the gunnel. So having a large portion of the weight centered on the kayak in terms of weight distribution is the big difference between the Mako 12 and the Mako 10. The Mako 12 has a lot more longer stern, and so there's a lot more kayak haul behind the seat and consequently more flotation. Therefore, when I'm leaning and trying to flip this kayak, it performs a little bit better in terms of stability because I don't have all 200 pounds of my weight sitting on the stern. It's more evenly distributed through the hull. So unlike the Mako 10, the Mako 12, it really stables out well. You'll notice that the bow doesn't come out of the water like it did on the Mako 10 because my weight is adequately distributed and more balanced. The weight isn't sitting all in the stern. So both of these kayaks I have not customized. These kayaks are straight from the factory, and they're basically what you can expect in terms of performance. It's taking me minimal effort here to get up to a good speed. You'll notice that the drive has a slight side-to-side movement when pedaling, but that's relatively normal in pedal kayaks. Even my Hobie kayaks did that. On this kayak, the Mako 12, the steering control lines were a little bit tighter, and that allowed me to have a little bit better steering. On the Mako 10, the steering control lines were a little bit loose, and that caused me to have a little bit of a wider turn radius. So I suspect if I were to shorten up the steering control lines on the Mako 10, I would be able to
pedal
get
drive
as
is actually
good,
open to the
better
water,
steering.
so water can go in here.
Here's a look at the pedal drive. The
like
pedal
water
drive weighs
lubricated.
roughly 7 pounds
Everything
or
in
so.
here is
It's ultra lightweight.
corrosion resistant.
It's made out of
design.
aluminum
It's
and
water
polymer
lubricated
material. It actually is designed to be open to the elements, so water can actually go in the drive, and it's like water lubricated. It's saltwater ready. Everything inside is corrosion resistant. I did notice though that the screws that hold the pedals onto the drive had a little bit of surface rust. So I don't know if that will get worse or not, but it's something just to note. In terms of flipping, well, once again, whether you're standing or whether you're sitting, I'm leaning quite a ways outside of the gunnels there, and it took a lot to flip this kayak. So I'm 200 pounds, 6'2", and in terms of performance, that is kind of what you get with the Mako 12 and the Mako 10. And hopefully you enjoyed this video, you found it useful, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up or share it with friends. In the video description, I'll have links to these kayaks so you can easily find them if it's something that interests you. They certainly come in at an attractive price point, and that's why I wanted to share them with you. Thanks for watching.